Okay, I'm hoping that the sound is back. If somebody on Facebook can type and let me know if you can you hear us or not. I am going to download this program and I'll share it on my YouTube page, The Casey Ingram Show, and hopefully we'll have sound there. I apologize this happened. It's just a Facebook issue. This is going out over the radio where everybody can hear, but we'll see if the recorded version will have some sound after I download it. And if not, we're just going to have Rose back and we'll cover all this again. So
You are such a delight to talk to. It's very comfortable, you're engaging, and you're such an elegant lady.
Well, thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate that. It was very nice. I did pay her for that. But tell us a little bit more with the workshop that's coming up on Tuesday. What are you going to cover that night?
So it's basically a coverage of the massive components of the healthcare industry. And to my knowledge, I'm the only person in the country that talks about the various elements. The bottom line is I want people to be aware, at the end of the day, you have to champion your own healthcare. You're the person that makes the decisions. Mm-hmm. You have to have informed consent regarding what decisions you need to make.
Yes.
And with the environment that we have in the healthcare industry, and I talk about the legislation that's impacted that people don't know about, the studies that are out there, what are care competencies. I cover the whole realm of it. So again, I take about 5 hours of information and I compact it down to about 90 minutes.
And for those of you on Facebook, I think you have some sound now. Again, she has a workshop that's coming up this Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. at New Hope Fellowship Church, 3900 Southwest Citrus Boulevard. She's going to be talking about just awareness for health championing. It's taking care of making your own decisions. You really just can't go into a doctor's office and just say, yes, yes, sir, yep, okay. You have to take some responsibility and knowledge for yourself, which part of this we talked about your, I want to make sure I'm calling it properly, the Care Freedom Act. Just doing a real quick recap for those folks that are just being able to tune in. That Care Freedom Act is so that you can record your conversations with your doctors, your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is. They can record those conversations because you don't have to be elderly to forget what the doctor said. You can be young and it can be overwhelming. So if you have a recorded conversation, you're able to share it with your family. You're able to come back and have questions. Florida's one of 11 states that does not allow that without permission.
And they say when you're in distress and you're sitting in front of a doctor, you're probably only hearing about 20% of what he's saying because you're under duress.
Rose, that makes sense. You're under tremendous stress. You're worried. Rose, how did you get involved with all of this? There's a lot of things here, and it comes down to transparency, like we said. But how did you really start delving into the background of the 5G, fluoride? There's just so many different issues here. You looked at healthcare going back many years where you were just saying at the beginning of the show, asbestos at one time was considered safe. Yep. My great grandmother died of lung cancer before they knew if asbestos caused it, but she worked in an auto factory in Michigan. They had little poker chips made of asbestos.
Oh no.
From the auto factories, and that's what they played poker with. So it was just nobody had any idea what it was, but in time we found out it's very dangerous.
How I got on this path is God said, focus on the people.
Awesome.
And I do what God says.
Well, again, she's going to be next Tuesday. I love it that you do what God says. Thank God for that. We need more of you. And it's her birthday next Tuesday. So if you show up early at 5:30, there's going to be some birthday cake.
Hopefully.
So happy birthday a little bit early. But this is super important. Again, you're trying to reach out to legislators about the Care Freedom Act. But, let's talk a little bit more on the 5G because, oh, yes, please go back over that.
I want to circle back around, and I'm going to leave you these documents. And again, these documents are on my website. When we're talking about insurance policies, there is an insurance policy I pulled up with another exemption is endocrine disrupting chemicals. So when you look at the Pfizer document, when they did the animal testing, they show that the spike proteins go to all the organs, and then they highlighted the top 5. Now, this is after only one shot.
Okay.
And the top 5 were adrenal glands,
wow.
liver, spleen, ovaries, and bone marrow.
Wow.
So those were the top 5 that were highlighted. So now let's go back to your insurance policies of endocrine disrupting chemicals. Are we invalidating people's health care coverage? We're not asking these questions. And again, I'm throwing them out as questions for you to investigate on your own.
It's very important that you do that. And there's a lot of different issues that are going on out there. You're trying to reach out to elected officials to make them ask the questions, maybe help. They're making decisions that affect all of us. And if they're not informed about the possibilities that could happen from installing a 5G tower or whatever, putting fluoride in our water.
A smart meter on your house.
The smart meter, that's another question. I mean, there's been a lot there, especially in the past. A lot of people were opposing the smart meters, so that was out there. And here's something. There's so much more to talk about, but here's something with the 5G towers. In Stewart, a business owner did a research and found 50 5G towers in a small area of Stewart, 50 of them, and there's 5G towers have been banned in many towns and countries. Doctors around the world are calling for a cease regarding the dangers. Tell us about all this, because this is something we're going to have to wrap up. I got my next guest here, but this is something that is here today, right now. It's getting built. It might pop up in your neighborhood next, and people don't understand the dangers. So this is my
understanding, because again, I'm referring to the experts because I'm not the expert. But sound waves start out small, and then as they go out in distance, they dissipate and get weaker. 5G is more of a directed beam. So it's a beam from panel to panel to panel to devices.
Okay. So it's much more powerful.
Yes.
Much more powerful.
This is turned way down. And my understanding, again, is when you go from 5G to 6G, it's not incremental, it's exponential.
Wow.
So they're already throwing out 10G. So if
it'll be here for you now at the way technology moves.
Yes. So if it's an exponential increase, what does that mean?
Rose, I've got to cut our half hour off, but this has been very informative, very quick, and we need to go in depth with a lot more of these different issues, which I'd love to do in the future. But in the meantime, folks, next Tuesday, November 12th, 7 to 9 p.m., New Hope Fellowship Church. Rose, you're going to be there, and I appreciate you helping spread the word. I'm going to put this on my Facebook page as well, so hopefully a lot of people show up. It doesn't cost anything to attend.
Nope.
And knowledge is power. So, and also that day, Tuesday at 9:05 a.m., wear black or blue. Let's come to the Board of County Commissioners and just share your concerns. We're going to be polite. This isn't about anybody bashing anybody, but we need to make our commissioners aware that they need to listen. Rose wrote a letter to all 5 commissioners. Not one responded. So,
yes. And if you want the information, again, go to my website, or the 5G, go to drpetechambers.com.
I have both of those in my comments. Rose Rohloff, thank you so much. We'll see you next Tuesday, and I'll have you back.
Take care now.